It is showtime for the Remodelers show. It is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020. Welcome to the Tuesday show. I was trying to think of something clever to say. It's just Tuesday's show. We just get on here and we do it Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We go strong for 30 minutes. And I attempt, along with your help in the comments, to provide value to you. You know, if you provide value to your ideal clients, your ideal prospects, good things happen, right? You build know, like, and trust. Marketing is getting someone as a need to know, like, and trust you. How do you continue to build value with those who already know you and those who you want to get to know better? And that's what we're up to here. And I love doing it. And it's kind of how I've built my business. So we're here to help. So today we're going to open up with a little intro like we normally do. This one coming from the crappy state of Ohio. I very rarely insult states, but I married my wife because she's the love of my life and my high school sweetheart, but also because her father has season tickets to Michigan football. You know what I'm saying? Go Blue. So when I hear Ohio, it's like, ugh. But anyways, this is my favorite person in Ohio.
This is Jason Carmack with Vision Construction in Cincinnati, Ohio, and this is the Remodeler Show, hosted by the man with the plan, Kyle Hunt.
Jason Carmack from Cincinnati, the Natty. So that's Jason Carmack saying, the man with the plan, Kyle Hunt. And I appreciate him doing that intro. And I'm going to talk about him a little bit later when we talk about a remodeler on the rise. And I share a little bit about what I've come to know and appreciate about Jason that also might help you in your remodeling business. So we've got this today.
It's time for the one word open.
It's time for the one word open. This is a really good thing to do when you have your team around you. You're starting a meeting. Hey, gents. Hey, guys. Hey, gals. Before we start the meeting, I want to go around the horn and do a one word open. What's one word that comes to mind for you right now? And you're going to hear good, stressed, frustrated, awesome. You're going to hear a variety of words, and it's going to give you a quick pulse for the room. And being the moderator or leader of the meeting, you have the purview of asking for more details about a certain one when you deem it appropriate. So it's just a really good way to kick off a meeting. And look at that, within the first minute of the meeting, everybody has actually said something and participated and broken the ice. It is a good way and good use of engagement. I'd love for you to use it. That could be your takeaway from today. But my word today is convenience. It's been a busy day for yours truly. Allergies make me sleep in. I just can't get out of bed. So I might have slept in a little bit. The dog had to go to the vet. If you haven't gotten your dog's teeth cleaned in a long time, here's your word of encouragement. Maybe get that checked out. We may have let her teeth go a little too much. So she's getting a full treatment today and kind of getting put under, the anesthesia, and she's going to be good as new and bright, shiny white teeth for little Lucy. And then that started just a meeting after meeting this morning. It's been a good day of hustle and it's felt good, but it's been a little hard hitting and back to back this morning. So I said, I'm hungry. I'm doing the Remodeler show at 12. My next meeting is going to be at 1 o'clock. That leaves me just a little bit of time in between there. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to order Jimmy John's. If you guys are familiar, Jimmy John's, freaky fast delivery. They're known for something, right? Freaky fast delivery. My word of the day is convenience. Convenience. I timed it. It took me 32 seconds from the time I said I should order Jimmy John's to the time the order was placed and I moved on to the next thing. 32 seconds. 32 seconds. They will deliver it right outside my office door. They will know to just leave it there. You might hear a knock in a little bit, but they know to just leave it there. What I think is also interesting is I spent just about as much on delivery and a tip as I did on the sub and the chips. Right? I think it was like $8 plus another $8 in delivery and tip. I didn't care. Why? Convenience. It saved me 25, 30 minutes of going out and finding something plus waiting time. My time is worth way more than the $8 convenience fee, if you will, that I spent, and it's going to help me be productive. Convenience. When you think of what are, I just heard the door open downstairs, by the way. Hang on, we might do something fun here. We might do something fun. Hold on. Hold your horses, folks. When the Jimmy John guy comes up here, I might have him come in. This could be a great moment in Remodelers show history. Hello? Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. It was going to be kind of weird. Plus COVID, plus social distancing. I'm not going to do it. But convenience. Our world, you think of Airbnb. You think of Uber. You think of food delivery services. You think of, I remember 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, I pulled up to Target and I'm like, really? People are just going to park out here. Somebody's going to do their shopping at Target, then they're going to bring it out. I mean, really, guys, is that what we're coming to in our culture? But then you think about it and you're like, you know what? If that was available and my wife had 2 little screaming kids under 3, it'd be pretty nice for her to just be able to pull up and somebody walk it out. Maybe somebody's sick. Certainly during the times of COVID, all of this is getting accelerated more and more. Businesses that never thought of doing the shopping for somebody and having it ready to go, whether groceries, whether Ace Hardware, whether wherever, that is being accelerated. Convenience. So many industries in out there have been disrupted, turned upside down for convenience and the sake of saving time, right? Even if it costs more. So I had that thought when I placed the Jimmy John's order, and I thought, from a remodeling standpoint, what does it look like for us to make our services more convenient for the customer, for our clients? Because they value convenience. They value saving time. It takes more time for them to come to our showroom and go through the effort of doing that than hopping on a Zoom call. It takes less time and hassle to hop on a Zoom call to do that quick revision of that design, not like the initial presentation, but maybe the revision, than it does for them to kind of feel like they need to clean up and get everything ready and look presentable because they know you're coming over at 2:00 just to review something. Right? There's convenience there. There's this idea of wanting to create a more stress-free remodeling experience. What does that look like? How do we make using us more convenient? Help them save time and hassle and headache. So I think that's something I'd love to hear in the comments. How do we provide a more convenient remodeling experience? Because people value that. And if we're able to show that and highlight that and explain that, that can be another point of differentiation that we can be bringing up in our content we create during our sales process. Our world, our country is going more and more and more towards convenience and saving time. What does that look like in our industry? And if you can get in front of that and you can keep doing that, people are going to value that, and it's going to impact their experience with us. Cool. All right. So I've got some. Oh, did somebody write COVID in there? Maybe Michael said COVID, like don't bring the Jimmy John's guy in. Actually, I do have to be transparent. I've had Jimmy John's delivered over the last year a decent number of times. Not an obscene amount of time, but a decent number of times. And there's one gentleman who, before COVID, like when he delivered and he brought it in, he would like to talk for 10 minutes. And when I heard his voice, I'm like, that's the guy. He would not probably understand that we're doing a live show and I just want to do something fun real quick. So that's where I made the split-second decision not to bring him in. Anyways, but I think that's what Mike was saying there. Rhonda, convenience is a great tool to have. What does that look like when it comes to our remodeling services? I order everything, grocery delivery every week. My time is valuable, and that's one of the outcomes of the whole pandemic is, again, all of that has been accelerated in industries that were kind of holding off on that. It is going to be the new normal. It's going to be the new expectation. What does that look like in remodeling? I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about that, but I think it's a good thing to consider. Cool. So that is that. I have kind of a little bit of a smorgasbord of topics here. Another one I just wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to do a little bit of screen sharing today, if you'll allow that to happen. I think a decent number of people listen to this on the podcast versus the in-person version. But for those of you watching the video, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to use the StreamYard function here. Share screen, and we're going to click there. And we're going to go here. And let me move this over here. All right. Un momento, sorry. There we go. So this is a little email from Aaron Wisman in the Ozarks. Aaron and I have done some business together in the past. Just a really wonderful guy. And let's see how this is showing up on StreamYard. Bear with me. All right, cool. So my video is showing up and you're seeing the screen. Aaron, about 3-4 months ago, I would say, started doing a Monday morning encouragement. Aaron is a remodeler. Aaron is also somebody that's just very much into personal development, continuing to improve. He's a big reader, quotes, inspiration. So I've known that to be a big part of who he is. And all of a sudden I started seeing these emails pop through and I'm going, what is this remodeler doing, sending a Monday morning encouragement? So he's been doing this over the last 3 or 4 months. And he reached out to me yesterday with a question related to hiring an estimator and wanted my 2 cents on it. And I said, Aaron, tell me about this Monday morning encouragement. I've been meaning to ask you about it. And he goes, well, it's just something that when everything started happening with Corona and all of what's going on, I decided this world needed a little bit more encouragement. And I committed to doing a once a week for the rest of this year, a once a week quick video and quick tip, just meant to help people, meant to give them encouragement, give them a new idea. So each day he shares, or each week he creates a quick video, 1 or 2 minutes, sharing a little tidbit, and then he usually types up a paragraph or so of just something else related to it. What's super interesting is he's like, Kyle, I have generated a good amount of business from these. Not like he didn't blow it up over the top, but he's like, I've generated a good amount of business. I'm sending this each week to all of my previous clients and prospects. There's a lot of just re-engagement going on. There's a lot of, I'm being even more consistent. Like they're hearing from me weekly. They're seeing a different side of me, totally unrelated to remodeling. And it's just meant to kind of help and encourage them. And he's like, people are reaching out to me and saying, hey, Aaron, good to hear from you. We're actually getting ready to look at doing our basement or doing our bathroom or doing our kitchen. He's like, I've generated a lot of business. And then he said, what's funny, now that I'm thinking about it, the appointment I just came from was somebody that replied to one of my Monday morning encouragements and wanted me to come out to look at their project. So that is interesting. So far, we're talking about 2 things that are not what I normally teach, of just like, do this and this happens, but kind of a little outside the box. One, what does it look like to be more convenient, to offer more convenience in our services? Let's just think about that. And then number 2, here's something that is totally unrelated to remodeling, but it is building relationship and know, like, and trust. And it's just kind of a cool example that I thought was pretty neat. I'm going to stop sharing my screen there. And that was just a little tidbit that was just outside the norm of things. Let me get my screen back pulled up here. And we're going to move on. I put that in kind of that strategy category. The next thing I wanted to share is related to, I guess, financials, but 2 things related to it. One is retirement, 401ks, investments. I would say, in my experience working with remodelers and just hearing from a lot of people, remodelers are not necessarily the best on the whole of making sure that they're building up a really nice nest egg, a really nice retirement account. I have this conversation with my clients often of just, hey, on the side note, what are we doing as far as investments? Do we have a simple IRA set up? Do you have a Roth IRA that you're contributing to? What are you doing? And oftentimes I'm a little underwhelmed with what I'm hearing. I'm hearing people in their 40s and 50s or, late 30s who just haven't really been too diligent and focused on it. So first item, don't beat yourself up if that's you. Stop it. You've been working your face off. You've been building equity in your business. You've been working hard. You've made a good living. And okay, maybe you haven't been able to tuck enough away into retirement as you'd like, but stop beating yourself up about it. It doesn't help. Number 2, when's the best time to plant a tree? Crap, I was supposed to plant that tree 10 years ago, so it was a lot bigger by now. You know what? The next best time to do it is today. Let's plant that tree today. So what can we do as far as starting to build up that retirement account. The where this came up in a conversation yesterday was with a client who was wanting to open up. He was thinking kind of a 401k so that he could start offering that benefit to his employees and being able to offer a 3% match when they put 3% in. So it came up yesterday, so it's kind of top of mind. I wonder if I've lost 2 viewers because I started talking about this and people get really frustrated or upset because it's like, oh, I need to do more. That's why I wanted to say, don't beat yourself up. So I just wanted to bring this topic up of what does your retirement savings look like? What are you going to do to continue to move in a good direction there? Do you understand the benefits of a Roth IRA versus more of a tax advantage now versus later 401k? Have you looked at the difference between a 401k to offer your employees versus a simple IRA, which is just a lot easier and cleaner and simple, as the name implies, to get up and running? And as you dig into it, do you understand, well, if I did the simple IRA, I'm only going to be able to do $12,500. If I do the 401k, I can do up to $19,000. That allows me to tuck more money away. But the 401k comes with more hassle and paperwork and cost. So there's pros and cons to all of these. What is your plan? Do you have a plan? Are you working towards putting money away? Is this a very confusing area for things? You need to do some research and get some education and some training on it. Has it just been a long time since you've evaluated this? Let's stop kind of burying our head in the sand and let's just kind of dig in to understand it, to ask questions about it, to learn about it. Okay, so I just wanted to share that. It's just related to, I think, a very important thing. I want my clients, I want you guys listening to this to be working towards building up a good retirement account. It gives you options as you're perhaps wanting to wind down your business versus feeling like you just have to keep working and working. It gives you options, and it's wise, right? And then the other thing related to this, it's another money related item, is to just share 2 cents on debt. I have found that clients who keep their debt lower have stronger businesses. How's that for an earth-shattering take? Thanks, Kyle. Wow, that's impressive, right? We have to be eager to get rid of our debt. We have to be diligent about trying to stay out of debt. One of the lessons that I hope we learn through all of the Corona and everything we've been going through is that things can change very quickly. And when you're out there a little over leveraged, when you are out there paying car payments and truck payments and equipment payments, when you're out there carrying a $20,000 credit card bill, it is riskier and harder for you to see your way through difficult times and downturns. Again, don't be overwhelmed by this. Kyle, you don't understand. I've tried, I've this and that. What's your plan? What is our plan? How can we start to chip into that? How can we start to work towards, paying things down? Is there anything that we should be selling? 2 topics that often get kind of overlooked, not given a lot of time, but I hope just by covering those 2 things that that is just as a reminder to some of you to be encouraged that you're making progress and be patient with it and realize month in, month out, if you're going in the right direction, just keep at it and keep pushing debt down or getting rid of it and looking at investments. And then, say what you want about Dave Ramsey. There's some simplicity and some clarity into his baby steps. Debt is dumb. Cash is king is what he says. You know what? Make sure you pay your debt down before you build up your emergency savings, then get into investments. There's a lot of wisdom in what he teaches. So if you're somebody that's kind of overwhelmed by everything financial, especially on the personal side or the debt and investments, he would be a good one to kind of plug into. And I appreciate any questions that you guys have as well. All right. Excellent. The best thing that's been covered so far today is Rhonda Bergen said, P.S. I left you a review on the podcast. Well, thank you. Thank you. Ooh, I knew that. You know what I need to do a better job of? I need to be more controversial on these calls, and I think I just did it. Even though I hate being controversial, I think I just achieved it because I mentioned Dave Ramsey's name, and immediately we got 2 things. We got where's my screen here? My StreamYard screen keeps disappearing on me. There we go. We immediately got a Dave Ramsey. Blah. Sorry, buddy. That was from Michael. And then we got a Dave Rocks. I need to be more controversial. Controversial is what this is a radio show. I'm supposed to be spitting crazy stuff out. I don't have it in me. But Michael, Dave's got his faults. He's got his redneck. He's a piece of work sometimes. He's pretty stinking stubborn on things. You can look at how he approaches investments and kind of be like, I don't know about that. You can look at how crazy he is about getting rid of debt and go, but for so many people, it is an extremely helpful blueprint and approach. So, and he's got his love. He's got his people love him. He got people hate him. I guess I stay away from being controversial because I want everybody to love me. I want everybody to leave a review on my podcast. So what Rhonda did there was just, hey, Kyle, I went to where I listened to your podcast, Remodelers on the Rise, and I left you a review on there. And boy, that is kind, Rhonda, and I would appreciate anybody who would be so kind to do that. Thank you very much. All right. So we have covered convenience. We have covered things related to money, investments, debt, kind of bounced around a few things. I had a few other things I wanted to share.
Let Kyle tell you about a remodeler on the rise.
Okay, I'll tell you about a remodeler on the rise. So Jason Carmack was the person, the kind individual who shared the intro and said I was the man with the plan. And I just want to share a few things about Jason. And I printed my second page that had Jason's information on it, but it didn't print out of the old printer. But that's all right, because I wrote it a little while ago and I'll remember it. One thing that's interesting is I remember Jason reaching out to me. It's been a little over a year ago. And, I learned about his business. I kind of gave him some feedback, and I was getting to the point where I was kind of talking about me a little bit. And he's like, Kyle, I already know you, man. I've listened to hours and hours of your podcast. I understand your approach. What's it cost? I'm already sold on you. And that it was one of the first times that the podcast really did that, to the point where I was like, wow, right? Know, like, and trust. When you create content that helps people, that people listen to, they get to know you. They get to see how you roll. They get to see your attention to detail, your viewpoint on things, your personality, etc. So you can be doing the same thing as you create content. I've been seeing this week a bunch of people popping. CQC Keith created this really cool live video. Michael, you've been doing some good live videos of teaching. Dennis Gaiman, I saw some live video for, just people trying and testing these things out, which is awesome. So keep creating content. When I think of Jason, some words that come to mind: he's got a lot of heart. He just cares and loves what he does. Cares about quality and delivering a great service to his clients. He's ambitious. He's got a vision. His business name is Vision Construction, but he's got a vision for where he's wanting to take the business, and he backs that up not just with this pie in the sky idea, but kind of, okay, if that's where I want to be in 10 years, what needs to happen this year as I roll back that plan? What do I need to work on this year to continue to move in that direction? It's interesting because he doesn't like debt. He's built a business that is cash strong and debt light, which is what we just talked about, which allows him to make investments and to continue to move forward. He cares about profit. He is one of the top clients I have who really has his job costing dialed in. He can tell you if he had any slippage. He can tell you what he was expecting to make versus what he did make, which is huge. And the other thing is, he saw a hole in his business. The reason he reached out to me is he's like, Kyle, we do a good job, but we aren't doing squat for marketing. We are surviving through repeat work and referrals, but outside of that, we're not really generating many leads. And I want to grow this business. Referrals and repeat work is only going to kind of keep the business where it's at, volume-wise, et cetera. I want to grow this business. He saw a hole in his business, reached out to somebody that he had researched and viewed as an expert, and we did some very specific coaching on building out a marketing plan and executing a marketing plan. And here, a year later, his website's kicking. He's generating leads from that. He's working on strategic partners. He's been big time into creating video. He's consistent with social media. He's got a referral program in place. He's got a lot of different pieces, and he's seeing leads coming in from a lot of different sources. So from your guys' standpoint, when you see a hole in your business, getting some outside help, getting some outside coaching and direction can be such a tremendous way to close that hole and to move the business forward. So there's some thoughts related to my friend Jason Carmack with Vision Construction. I thought so too. I thought that was worthy of some applause. I agree. He's a good dude. All right. What that means is we have 4 minutes left, and let's see if we have any more comments. I don't even know what this means. Oh, there we go. Up your shock jock shtick. So what would be something else that would be controversial that I could share as we wind down the Remodelers show today? Here's where my head went with it. Man, there's a lot of business owners that come up with a lot of stinking excuses. Well, I'm really up in my shock jock. Get ready. I still won't swear or anything, but I'll try to be mean, even though it's just against my nature. Kyle, charging for design and development just doesn't work in my area. That's a bunch of crap. I send people that immediately think the worst about something. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and it's like they immediately jump to the worst case scenario of things. People that just love to make excuses. The reason that they don't have enough in retirement, well, this and this happened. Well, I got taken advantage by so-and-so. I used to be in a partnership and they took advantage of me. And people that just cling to things that happen to them, or just are finding the negative in anything and have excuses for anything. They are not going to build a successful business. And it is so clear that unless they change their attitude, behavior, and get over it, they're not going to be able to move forward. And they're going to be, if they're a crotchety 40-year-old, they're going to be a crotchetier 60-year-old. Our attitude and the way that we look at situations can dictate how we respond to them, how we get through them, how we grow through adversity and challenges. And man, people love their excuses because it feels good. It takes accountability off their shoulders, and they can just whine and complain instead of do something about it. Was that shock jockey? I feel like I was just spitting truth there. That wasn't like being mean, but I guess if you fall into that category, you could probably look at that as being mean. But that's truth, and I think we all need to hear that. Like, it's easy to make excuses. It's easy to turn a bad conversation into a bad day, a bad 10 minutes into a bad day. We've got to keep working and being diligent at saying, you know what? Yeah, things happen to me. Crap happens. This and that happens. How am I going to respond to it? My boy, Robin Schmidt's got mesothelioma. He's dealing with chemo. Man, he's upbeat. He is dealing with it. He's got a terrible diagnosis, and he's working through it. And I see things like that. And then we find things in our lives that are just a minor inconvenience, and we make a mountain out of a molehill. Shock jock, Kyle Hunt, to close out the Remodelers show. Is that shock jockey? Let me know, people. All right, 2-minute warning. What did we learn today? Each one of these have a little different tone, and they really dictate based on topics we cover and, frankly, how I'm feeling. Bullseye. Jim says bullseye. All right, I can do that. That's just kind of, I guess that's shock jockey. I can do that. I just can't. I can't yell at people. I can't call them names. That makes me cringe. But cool. What I learned today is I want to think through more. What is convenience and saving our clients time look like when it comes to the remodeling process? There's some value there. There's something that if we can keep looking at that and implementing things into our business to help with that, there's value there that you can deliver to your clients. So what does that look like? For me, I think of Remodelers Autopilot. If you go to remodelersautopilot.com, the reason Remodelers Autopilot has a very low attrition rate and that people sign up for it is it's convenient. It takes a problem that people have, which is they're not staying in touch with their previous clients, and it helps them be consistent with very, very, very little friction involved, and produce something professional. If you're not staying in touch with your previous clients, check out remodelersautopilot.com. It's $1 for the first month. But that's an example of convenience. And we're always looking at that. How do we continue to reduce friction, save them time to get this kicked out? So what does that look like? That's my big takeaway from today's remodeling show. There's more talking of that. Americans struggle with any kind of inconvenience. It is, and I'll share this where, it is a double-edged sword where, as we were at some friends on Saturday morning, our friends Andy and Marisol made a lovely big breakfast. We ate it out on the deck. We were social distancing, etc. And it's legal to get together in groups of 10 or I think more now, actually, in Michigan. But they had a salt and pepper shaker. And I guess it was a shaker, but they take the pepper thing and you just push the top button and it grinds it. So I can do it one-handed. And I made the comment, I say, you know what's wrong with America? That's salt and pepper shaker. Uh-oh, I'm shock jocking again. That's salt and pepper. Andy, that's what's wrong with America. We are becoming so stinking soft that we can't even turn our own pepper. And here's what's interesting. Marisol, his wife, goes, well, the reason Andy really wanted that is when he's cooking chicken, it allows him to be flipping with one hand and peppering with the other. So convenience. Interesting, right? So, but yes, that is a... Oh, here we go. And we got some feedback here. This is good. Airbnb, Uber, delivery. Is it about convenience or is it about efficiency? Or is it about systems that were poor delivery mechanisms to begin with? And these things make things more efficient and deliver a better experience. Food for thought. That's my takeaway. Let's think about this convenience thing a little bit. My quick answer to that is, yeah, probably all of that, right? There's a especially when you think of Airbnb, you think of Uber, especially, right? Taxis, like, this is how we do it. This is the way it is. We got rules, regulations, and all of a sudden somebody found a gap in the market, took advantage of it, found the way to provide a better experience and make a system more efficient, right? Poor delivery mechanisms. And that's allowed for a better experience. Cool. Thank you for your interaction today, my friends. We will be back tomorrow with another episode of The Remodelers Show. Get out there and implement something. And in today's case, get out there and think about it some more. Later.